is good, everybody, and welcome to Weekday Wagers. It is Thursday, and no, there is nothing wrong with your screen. My name is Mark Wallace, and I am sitting in for Daniel Greer, who is still on vacation with his family down at the beach and soaking up the sun, getting that little salty air, recharging the batteries, getting ready to kick off his Anaheim Ducks #1 fan hockey season with us. Can't wait for him to come back. Look, we've got a jam-packed show. There is so much going on. We got hockey. We got playoff baseball. Of course, there's some college football. And they call it Thursday night football for a reason because, damn it, we have a game tonight in the NFL between the Steelers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Before we jump into today, let's take a look back at what happened yesterday. And not bad. Not bad. A little 50. Keller and Thomas. I think it was Keller that came up a little short on that one. The first period fireworks in Buffalo. Wow. Was not expecting the Sabres to come out and explode for as many goals as they did last night, but they finally got in the win column. Let's get to. I know this is so weird because there's no TV timeout. So let me just set the tone right now. We don't have any TV timeout for today, okay? Because one, I'm not a Survivor guy. Two, that's DG's stick. But I do have my very good friend, Robbie Hockey. Rob, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. It was a crap night on the ice. No getting around it. I sucked yesterday when it comes to betting. And no, it wasn't just Keller. It was Keller and Thomas. They both said, nah, just doing cardio tonight. But I don't know if you can hear it, but they're still scoring goals in Buffalo right now. What a crazy, crazy game that was.
Yeah, it's funny because I thought it was an air raid siren. Nope, just another goal being scored. Any big surprises, whether it was on the ice last night or I want to get your thoughts on the baseball game as well. Toronto just put it on Seattle last night. Let's start with the baseball. Any surprises? Surprises or something that you're like, I was not expecting that at all?
No, because I knew they had it in them. I knew the Blue Jays bats could wake up, and as I sat there and kept getting notifications at dinner that they just hit another home run after another home run, I was like, okay, now we have a series. So I think you're going to see a lot of the same in the next game too.
Yeah, I think so as well. In fact, I've given up, by the way. For the record, I have given up on trying to pick a side on this Toronto-Seattle side because if you see a play that is posted on juststatsports.com with me picking a side in the Toronto-Seattle series, go the opposite way. I'm telling you, just go the opposite way right now. So I don't have a side in this game. I do have one in the Dodger-Brewer game, but we'll get to that in a second. On the ice, anything surprising last night that stuck out for you?
Just the beatdown that the Blackhawks put on the Blues. I know the Blackhawks are a better team, and I knew they could win that game, especially covered, but I did not expect them to just totally annihilate the Blues last night. My goodness. Yeah, everybody in the Blackhawks looked good.
I think that the Blackhawks this year are going to be that sneaky team that, listen, first of all, their reputation is well-deserved. They have been a suck team for the last 3 years. I mean, they've just been horrible. But now that they've got those younger kids, they've got that younger player development that has really started all the things that they've been doing over the past 3 years to get those players up to speed and really get them to gel is starting to pay off. And you're starting to see it now with the way that they're playing competitive hockey, the way that they can stay with the really good teams, and the way that they're beating teams that last year. We're not even talking about the Chicago Blackhawks, beating the Blues. We're talking about how bad the Blues beat the Blackhawks.
Right. And it was at home. St. Louis was at home, which, I try not to go too far back into like last year because teams changed quite a bit. But I'm like, man, these guys like Robert Thomas and Butch Navich, they own Chicago. It doesn't matter. The last few years, they've owned them. And I thought it's still a similar Chicago team. They are playing better. So I thought the Blues would show up, and they didn't. But that one on me, it was like I said, it was a rough night on ice. I kept waiting for a notification for one of my guys to do something. They didn't do anything last night.
Still waiting, huh? Cobwebs. I'll tell you what.
Still waiting.
We do have some NFL action tonight. Like I said, we've got the Steelers traveling into Cincinnati. Let's do a little breakdown on this game. And we've got this list put together. And if you're subscribed to juststatsports.com, this has already been up. You've already got this. It kind of goes over the last 5 games of which encompasses all of this season, by the way. So we got the Steelers, who are 4-1 overall. They're 2-1, 2-0 on the road. They're averaging almost 24 points a game while giving up about 21. The Bengals, just a different story. You know, they're allowing 30 points a game. As you look at this game, Rob, what's the best way that you're approaching this for you?
Man, I'm going really wide receiver heavy. I like the top wide receivers tonight between Metcalf, between Chase and Higgins. I like those guys. Noah Fant, I think, is the last tight end standing for Cincinnati, so I think he could get some looks tonight. But I think we could see a good game, and Joe even brought it up. He says he loves the Bengals, and he's worried about many people love the Bengals. I'm with you, Joe. I love the Bengals too, and I don't feel great about it.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I think that when you look at this division game on a short week, obviously you got the short turnaround, a division game, and when you see what the Steelers have done, you know, in their games, look, they needed 5 New England turnovers to win that game. Okay, they haven't played really decent teams, and they've squeaked by on teams that they should have beaten handily. I think that this 4-1 record, while it sits atop, you know, they sit atop their division, I don't think it's as solid as it looks on paper, just given the history of you know, like I said, the Patriots turned the ball over 5 times. You better win that game if you're the Steelers.
Yeah. Yeah, the only game that really stands out, they wiped Cleveland last week. It didn't seem like Cleveland stood a chance in that one, so they handled their business there. But even the Jets game to start the year was a dogfight. They dropped that one to Seattle, which Seattle is a really good team. And then they played Minnesota overseas, which was they also almost let Minnesota come back and beat them in that game after dominating most of the game. They also are a team, if you look at last year, didn't they start, I think, 6 or 7-0? Like they started off hot and then they barely squeaked into the playoffs last year. Or did they? I don't even remember if they make the playoffs last year. I feel like they did.
Yeah, they made the playoffs last year, and you know that's one of the hallmarks of the Steelers, right? The Tomlin especially is that they get out to these fast starts, but then when they start playing the better competition with the scheduling, the way that it's set up for the Steelers, it always seems to be that middle of the season towards about 3/4 of the way through. That is their obstacle course, right? I mean, it's all those games that they were winning up front that now become challenges for them. And especially when you have an aging quarterback, and listen, kudos to Aaron Rodgers. He has turned over a new leaf. The guy has found, whether it's the fountain of youth or all that ayahuasca he can smoke, he is certainly playing better than he was in his 2 years with the Jets. I mean, would you agree?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know, you take away the Achilles year, but even last year he's playing. He seems like he's happy there as well. I don't know why. Do you remember before he went to the Jets, there was a game where he was like on his back and he looked over and him and Mike Tomlin kind of looked at each other like, you want to run this? You want to do this? And he ended up going to the Jets. Now I think I think him and Mike Tomlin are a good match, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. I think he found a system that was kind of built for him and his style of play, especially at this stage in his career. He doesn't have to throw the ball very far downfield, although he can still wing it if he has to. He just doesn't have the same zip on it that he used to before. We've got a question here from Rich. It says, should we bet receiving yards over for Chase, Higgins, and Metcalf? I do have a thought on that. I'm curious as to your thoughts on Chase.
Yeah, Chase, yes. Metcalf, yes. And Higgins, yes. You'll see more about him later, but I agree. And even if you want to take alt lines and put all 3 together, I don't hate that. Or if you want to look at their receptions, the receptions prop looks really great. I think Chase, I'll have to look it up real quick, but I feel like he's had at least 5+ receptions in his last. Yeah, he has 5+ receptions. He's gone for 10 last week and 14 in week 1. And I think his line is around 6 or 6.5. So
it's at 6.5.
I love his receptions. I still love that, even for Chase.
In fact, if we go over here, so let me blow this up so we can see it better for everybody. If you look at Jamar Chase's, his line for receptions is at 6.5. Yeah. So you can outline this. If you outline his receptions down to 5, he's done that in every single game this season. So I do love that spot for him. If you're going to play all 3, if you're going to play 3 individually, I like the Higgins yardage. Chase, I think, scares me. He's done this in his last 2 games, so that is a plus for me. 73.5. I'm high on Chase and Higgins for the yardage. Who was the other one? Metcalf?
Yes, Metcalf.
Yeah. I think Metcalf's line is perfect for him. I like all 3 for their yardage. Bonus, if you're going to play an alt line, look at Noah Fant. He has cleared. He's cleared 15 yards in, I want to say it's like 18 of his last 20 games. He had 2 weeks ago, he had the goose egg. But I think that if you're going to outline somebody, Noah Fant is a great look. Also with his receptions, he's gone over 3 receptions in the same amount. I think 18 of the last 20. So yeah, Rich, we love that look for all 3 receivers, actually. Yep. Is there anybody else that you would target? That's what I wanted to ask you, Robbie. The running backs, Jaylen Warren and Chase Brown. How do you see this game going? Do you think the running backs are going to be a factor?
I would actually look at Kenneth Gainwell's receptions over both of those guys, because he has 3+ receptions in 4 of his last 5. He's had 6 receptions plus in his last 2. I think he's a guy you could target for Pittsburgh if you're looking at receptions line. Pittsburgh has given up running back receptions 5 last week, 4 2 weeks prior, and they love to mix and match both Warren and Gainwell. It seems like they start with Warren and then they go to Gainwell like on those 3rd and longs or when they need passing yards. I think Gainwell would be the one I would pick out of all those running backs. And I'm looking at his receptions and receiving yards.
I like Gainwell as well. I love his reception yardage. I really do. I think that they use him out of the backfield as a check down a lot, especially when they're giving what's his name?
Jaylen Warren.
Jaylen Warren. When they're giving Warren a breathing spell, they look to bring Gainwell in. Gainwell hasn't broken off any huge rushes this year, but his reception yardage has been fantastic. So that would be another look for me as well. Scotty Y likes the Steelers and the under 45. Any thoughts on that? I think we've covered the Steelers and possibly being a dud spot for them and being upset by the Bengals. Do you like the under 45 or over here?
I can't play an under when Cincinnati's defense is on the field. There's just too many ways to exploit them. I think and then if Pittsburgh does exploit them, they're going to have to play catch up, and they have the weapons in Higgins and Chase to do that with at least Flacco and not Jake Browning back there now. So the under scares me in that one. I don't think I could do the under.
Yeah. So when the model projections and everything went up on Tuesday at juststatsports.com, one of the things that jumped out to me was that this line for tonight's game was at 42.5, and I jumped all over the over specifically for that reason. You've got a Cincinnati defense on the field that has already proven they can't stop anybody from doing anything that they want to do. Yeah, give me the over. I love this spot here. And then they bring in Joe Flacco, who had a really good look against Green Bay last week. Yes, they lost.
Yeah.
Their team total was at 14.5. They end up putting up 18 against a solid Green Bay defense. I think that with this game, for me, the way I'm going to attack it is with a Cincinnati team total, simply because I think Flacco can keep them competitive. They can score points, and the Cincinnati's defense can't stop. They can't stop anything. They just cannot stop a thing. So I like the over. I would play the over actually all the way up to 47.
Yeah, I love that look too. And you're exactly right. And I know the running backs we just talked about Pittsburgh, Cincinnati giving up a touchdown in 5 straight games. Every game they've played this season, except for the first one, they've given up a touchdown. And I'm just looking at the RB1s. Let me see the RB2. And yeah, so week 1 is the only game they haven't given a touchdown to the running backs. And they've given up multiple touchdowns, like Josh Jacobs last week. And then Jordan Mason in week 2, or week 3. So that's, if you're looking for touchdown props, I think running backs are juice, but it's probably worth the squeeze given what Cincinnati's allowed.
Absolutely. And RJ says he jumped on that over and he thinks it's going to be the same sort of game for the Bucks and the Lions. And RJ, I agree with you. I think we're going to see a lot of points in that game as well. Not trying to get too far ahead of what we're doing, but yeah, I see Detroit and Tampa Bay being a shootout, to be honest with you. I just think that they put up a ton of points. We do have some wagers for tonight.
Yeah, we do.
All right. We do have some of those. And in all fairness, I think what we're dishing up is a little, it's tasty. But when you have a bonus play, you elevate that taste. And you know what else elevates flavor? This.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Seabass, the only 5-star chef in the game. We all know sports betting is full of bad beats and tough calls, but when it comes to flavor, there's no second guessing. Bassett's Blends is the plus EV lock of every meal. We don't need a stinking model. Crafted with winning spices and bold taste, Bassett's Blends comes in 3 flavors, original, hot, and no salt, that's gonna turn chicken, steak, vegetables, any dish into a can't-miss cover every night. With Bassett's Blends, there's no bad beats, no flavor fades, just guaranteed greatness. Check out the link right here where you can pick up your Bassett's Blends for a guaranteed lock every single night.
Oh, gotta love those Bassett Blends. All right, Robbie, it's that time. Everybody is waiting with bated breath, my friend. What are you playing tonight and why?
Yeah, we're going to go T. Higgins, 46-plus receiving yards at -114. Put that in yesterday. Look, Joe Flacco fixed T. Higgins, as I like to call him. He looked his way 8 times last week. T caught 5 of them for 62 yards. I honestly thought Flacco was going to get his head taken off last week. I didn't think he was going to be a factor at all. He proved me wrong, and he came out there and slung the ball, passed for over 200. Don't let the early season numbers scare you for T. Higgins. He had Jake Browning throwing the ball, and Jake Browning can't hit the broadside of a barn. Most of his passes were either uncatchable or they were intercepted. He's gone for 50-plus in 4 straight games against the Steelers, with almost 150-plus in 2 of those games. Pitt plays a ton of man coverage, and honestly, T. Higgins kills man coverage. So I took his 46-plus receiving yards at -114. I even sprinkled the ladder all the way up to 100 on him tonight.
That's my cue. I like it. I do really like T. Higgins. In fact, I am on a play with T. Higgins as well. It's part of the Power 4 parlay over at justastatsports.com, which is a free play of the day. A little bonus for you right there. But I am going with my Canes Crush 2.0. That's right. Playing the Hurricanes again. Why? Because they are taking on the Anaheim Ducks. That's why. Look, this is pretty simple. We're going to keep this very simple. One, it's DG's team, right? DG just got into hockey. We are going to teach him a lesson in what hockey is all about, because the Canes just keep rolling. We played them earlier this week. They've opened the season a perfect 3-0, and they're rolling through. They do have a tough 6-game Western Conference road trip. It started last night with a 5-1 beatdown versus the Sharks. And this team has absolutely shown why it's one of the NHL's model franchises for what they do. They've got a mix of veterans. They've got emerging talent. Carolina's depth jumps off the page. They've got scoring lines, steady defensive core, and their goaltending actually just gives them that further edge, and it travels so well. I mean, when a team is on a road trip like this, you need solid goaltending. The Carolina Hurricanes have that in goal there. The Anaheim Ducks, don't let those 2 victories fool you into thinking that they're a good team. They are not. They came against Pittsburgh and they came against San Jose. Both of those teams are searching for identities at this point. Carolina is a whole different test. They're fast, they're physical, they're ruthless in transition. The Hurricanes have made the playoffs 7 straight years and cleared the first round in 5 straight. This is a team who knows they are of championship pedigree. Expect them to flex their muscles on the Ducks. Now, the other thing you can do that I really like in this spot is if you wanted to take Anaheim's team total. If you wanted to parlay this, a safe way to go about this, parlay the Hurricanes on the money line, which means they just have to win. This is the 3 ways to win it in regulation. But if you parlay this with the Anaheim Ducks team total under 3.5, it is very, very nice at a plus 125. So just a little something that you can do if you wanted to get spicy with that. And let's get right there. You are, Robbie. How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I got
to bring you back.
Good.
I know. That's why I said, yeah, I put that play up and I'm like, I know I can't ask Rob what he thinks about this because he's going to be like, I think it's better if I don't have a word on this.
Yeah. If I bet it, it's going to lose because it's the Hurricanes. So, no, I'm good. You got it, though.
All right. And Joe seems to like your play because he says that's the first half cash.
I agree, Joe. I think so, too. I was shocked it came out at 45.5. I was kind of monitoring those lines all week, and when it dropped at 45.5, I was like, absolutely smashing it.
We do have some other plays in here. We got Scotty Y, who's like DK Metcalf's longest reception over 26.5 at minus 110. I was looking at this, and he's only cleared this line twice so far this year. However, in his only game against the Bengals, he cleared it with a 30-yard reception. Any thoughts on Metcalf breaking off a long one against the Bengals?
Yeah, I was looking at that, and the Bengals, as far as compared to wide receiver ones, have only given that up once in their last 10 games. That's to Justin Jefferson not too long ago. You look at the wide receiver twos, which you're talking about Scotty Miller, so I'm not going to put too much effort into him. But they've given up 23 and 25. They gave up 35 to Matthew Golden, who was the wide receiver 2 for Green Bay. I think he gets it, honestly, because I don't think Cincinnati is that good defensively. I wouldn't mind it. It's not a play that I'm going to make, but I wish it was around 24. If it was around 24, 24.5, I would love it. 26.5, I only like it. If that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. And we do have an update from Miss Kimberly White, who says Hendrickson's hip is a bit iffy for tonight. Have you heard anything about whether he's a go or not?
I haven't. I usually get the notifications from one of those apps, and I haven't seen anything on him today. Not as of now, anyway.
Gotcha. Now, here's what I will ask. By the way, the chat is pumping, and I'm looking at this live number, and I get humbled every time I look at it every single day. I thank you very, very much. Do us a favor, please hit that like button. It really does help us grow, and the numbers are showing our growth, and it's incredible. If you like somebody for an anytime touchdown today, in our full disclosure segment, DG's the one that holds the keys on the, what is it called? What's he call it? The pay dirt.
Primetime pay dirt.
Primetime pay dirt. He holds the keys on that graphic. So I'm not going to try to recreate that graphic for anybody and have it come in as the Timo version of of DG's primetime pay dirt graphic. Who's Chris Berman? I hear primetime pay dirt, and all I can hear of is Chris Berman in my head going primetime pay dirt. Anyway, that was a horrible impression. If there's anybody that you like to score a touchdown tonight, let's have some fun with this. It's got to be live, so you have to be watching live. Here's what I'll do. Have to be watching live. You put in an anytime touchdown player that you like. If that player scores the first touchdown of the game, I will personally Venmo you $25. Just as a thank you for watching, a thank you for participating in our little chat, and a way to say, hey, listen, let's have a lot of fun while we're watching this game tonight. So if you like somebody to score a touchdown tonight and that person scores the first touchdown, You put it in the chat right now, because once we go off air, this contest is over. Put them in now. I can hear the internet burning up with all the research being done on anytime touchdown players. I love this. Put it in now. And if they score the first touchdown of the game, I am giving you a $25 Venmo for me tomorrow morning when you wake up.
Now, let me ask, because I'm thinking as a member of the chat, what if like 17 of them have the same guy and he scores?
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even think about that.
Maybe you can do a random drawing if it's the same guy, because I'm trying to look out for your money, because I put my money out. I'm looking out for you.
You know what? I love this. So let's do this. Anytime touchdown. Basically, you're calling the first touchdown scorer, right?
Yeah. Right.
So you're calling the first touchdown scorer. If your guy hits, you're eligible for $25. The tiebreaker, closest to the total.
Okay.
Without going over.
Price is Right rules. All right.
Price is Right rules without going over. So if you've got, like, I see Scotty Wyatt, he's got Noah Font first touchdown. Scotty, give me your guess on the total of the game, and we'll get that in. So I see you guys giving me players, and thank you, Robbie, because that would have cost me some money. No, I appreciate it. So let's go with closest to the total without going over. So if you've got a player in there, there we go. See, and this is why Madam President is Madam President. That's exactly how you do it. Jaylen Warren, first touchdown, 47 points. That's how we do it. So
perfect.
Yeah. Now we do have a question. And while everybody is giving me their totals, if you've already gotten players in, if you don't have a total, I can't accept your player. How's that?
There you go.
Just because you got the player in.
Hey, this is your show, man. You put it out there. It's your show.
All right. So Irish John has a question. Irish John's my guy. Dude, love a guy that loves Jameson as much as I do. I think when I was looking at this earlier, oh, you know what? I know where we'll go to get that information. Watch this. Let's go over here to this. Let's pull this up, because when I look at this, and we get the interceptions off there. As I look at this, I look over, I see Aaron Rodgers, who has been pretty solid. But when he's played the Bengals, he has thrown an interception in every game he's faced the Bengals. Joe Flacco did not throw an interception last week against Green Bay, but for the 4 games prior, he was good for an interception. I don't know what the odds are on either one of those guys.
Flacco to throw Flacco to throw a pick is at -170. Give me a second. Aaron Rodgers to throw a pick is at +120. So you got +120 for Rodgers, -170 for Flacco.
Which one of those do you like?
Probably Flacco, just because I don't know if Cincinnati's defense can record an interception or not.
There's that. There's that. So, what did you say Flacco's was? The odds?
-170 is what Doink was showing for the best lines. It was -170. That was at Fanatics. Rodgers is +120. That's at BetMGM.
Okay. What would you put that Flacco interception with as a good way to get that to a playable level?
I'd put that with maybe. I'm sure you can almost get plus money with that, and maybe 30 or 40 receiving yards for T. Higgins.
So, well, here, you know what? I just thought of this. What if we go? So, can I do? I wonder if I can do this. No, I'm looking at putting a interception with Joe Flacco interception. There's that. And then what if we do the other, my little Noah Font to get Noah Font 3+ receptions and a Joe Flacco interception. Irish John, this one's for you, my friend. Noah Font receptions at 3. Joe Flacco to throw an interception. Put them both together. That's a +112. Nice little parlay.
There you go.
And Noah Font, if I get this correct, has hit his
I think we said he cleared in 4 of his last 5 for receptions.
He's hitting 14 of the last 15 games he's played in. He's cleared the 3. So I love this spot for him. So yeah, you got it. Let's see.
Joe, I was going to correct you, but it just sounded funny with you calling him Font. But
I'm going to call him Font now forever.
I know, as you should.
Or yeah, you know what, Irish John, that's another great look. You could put that with a Hurricanes win. I don't know what those odds are, but yes, we got you there. And
I won't tell you, so it should be fine.
There we go. Scotty Wise, did I miss the Survivor talk? Well, I guess in a way, kind of. You missed it because I'm sitting here in the hosting chair and DG is still on vacation.
He's still on the island.
He is on the island. He won't be voted off. We don't know. Actually, that's funny because we don't know when he's getting voted off the island and coming back home.
Apparently, he had his kids on the roof trying to hold an antenna just so he could get some Wi-Fi here. So, and as Kimberly said, no spoilers. So I won't give you any spoilers. But yeah, he's off the beaten path right now. We haven't heard from DG at all today.
Yeah, that is a very true statement. We have not heard from DG at all today, which is a little.
He may or may not be here tomorrow. Honest to God, no funny business. We don't know if he's going to be here tomorrow, so it may just be me and Mark.
That is a very true statement. If that's the case, just a thought. If somebody wins today, the first touchdown with the correct score,
it's got to be plus 1,000 to get in the saloon.
No. I wasn't going to say saloon. Okay. You know what? I was going to. This is already off the rails. I was going to go even further and be like, I was going to turn this into a free for all, but no, won't do that. I think we have. I'm exhausted. And I don't even know why I'm tired.
Scott Y has a question. I'll be happy to answer for him about any hockey scores tonight. Yeah. So Scotty, we have Leon Draisaitl. You can still get him at plus 110. He's scored in 5 straight games against the Islanders. You've got Morgan Geekie. His number was like plus 230. He's scored in, I think, 3 or 4 straight against the Vegas Golden Knights. Then there's Adrian Kempe against the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think he has scored, let me tell you right, because I don't want to mislead you, brother. He has scored in 5 straight against Pittsburgh. One of those games, he had 4 goals. So Kempe, Geekie, Draisaitl. Those are my top 3 tonight.
So those are goal scorers, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Okay. Those are goal scorers. So Robbie and I were talking about this before the show. And let me get back over here to our pay dirt. And I'm going to replace this because we have finally started getting enough data on this season. And I know this is small. Let me try to enlarge it a little bit for you. Because that was the difference, right? When we were going over this, we look at shots on goal and points. Our goal scorers is not yet ready to roll out yet, simply because we want a little more data to start recommending the goal scorers at this point in the season. That's not to take away anything from what Robbie just said, because if there's anybody who knows their hockey, it is absolutely the guy with hockey in his name. But when you look at this, and this is a cheat sheet that we put out every single day, started today, and we'll be putting that out every single day for shots on goal and points. The goal scorers will come probably sometime middle of next week, but you guys can screenshot this. In fact, you know what? I already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to everybody over at Just Stat Sports. I will have them put this up on their Twitter account for everybody. Is kind of a, hey, listen, we're all set for the season. This is what we're going to roll out with shots on goal. As you look at it, it gives you people's head-to-head matchup. Everybody here is at over 80% for both shots on goal and points. It also gives you the defense versus the position, so you can kind of match up. For example, Gabriel Landeskog for Colorado plays the left wing. His line for shots on goal is at 1.5. He's currently on a 2-game streak. When he has faced the Avs are facing the Ducks, right?
No, I can tell you. I was looking at that game earlier.
That's the Hurricanes.
Yeah, Avs are playing the Blue Jackets.
The who?
Columbus
the Blue Jackets. Yeah. So whenever he's faced the Blue Jackets, he's hit this in every single game he's faced them. And the Blue Jackets are 28th in defense out of 32 teams against the left wing. That's how you read this chart. Get over to Twitter. It'll be up on Twitter here shortly. Or better yet, you could have got this at justastatsports.com earlier today, because that's where it went up to. So I will make sure that they get that out. Yep. But head on over there. We also have our Power 4 parlay. We hit a 317 on Sunday, a 234 on Monday. Today's is, oh my God, how did I forget what today's was? Do you know?
I was looking on the site. I don't see it there yet.
It's not up there yet? Today's is 310. We have a
yes, 310.
Yeah, plus 310. So head on over. Yeah, Irish John said 310. Head on over there. It'll give you the players. They're all on alt lines. Okay, these are all alt lines, but all of them have an 80% or higher hit rate. I don't know if you've noticed a theme, but whether it comes to hockey, player props in general, we're looking for 80%. Plus, we're looking for defensive matchups that make the most sense for them to get well above that. So, a little behind the scenes there. Wow, Rob, we were at that time 40 minutes and it just flew by.
I wish the rest of work went by this quick.
Exactly. Anything else that you were looking at? Oh, I almost forgot. NFL Overdrive. So what Rob said earlier is absolutely true. We have not heard from DG today. We know that he's still alive. He's doing well. We're assuming that because he's at the beach.
Assuming.
Scan that QR code. Register with your email. We've already we lost in week 1. This is redemption week for us. We will have the 10 plays. Whether it's Rob and I coming up with the 10 questions or it's DG, we will have the 10 questions up for you hopefully tomorrow for tomorrow's show. If not, it'll be Saturday for sure before Sunday's games kick off, and you can participate. If you beat Rob, if you beat me, if you beat DG, well, hold on. Why did I just turn into a DG? Let me keep this simple. You have to beat all 3 of us. And if you can beat all 3 of us, if you tie us, you lose. You have to outright beat all 3 of us, which happened last week. You get a $100 bill and a 6-month subscription to justastatsports.com. If you're already a member of justastatsports.com, guess what? You get the monetary amount of a 6-month membership in addition to the $100 in cold, hard cash. And no, Joe, you did not. You did.
You probably beat me. Yeah. Everybody beat me last week.
You did beat Robbie. You did beat DG. But, Joe, you and I tied. So, there's that.
Wait, and then he asked about results. Ronnie Meadows won. I think that was his name. That's all you need. We lost and Ryan Meadows won.
Joe's like a pit bull. He's got that lockjaw.
I don't know what you want me to tell you, Joe. You beat me in DG, and you tied Mark. I don't know where else you're.
I'll tell you what. So everybody knows where they stood last week. I will put together some sort of graph. I've got the Excel file. So I will put together the graphic for that so everybody knows where they stand. Just a reminder, you can only submit one, just once, a play. If you submit two, we can't count either one of them. We can't count either one of them. We can, yeah. So I'll just leave it at that. We can only submit one. And Joe said he's something about he can't scan the mobile. How did you do that, Robbie? Because you were able to scan the QR code.
Yeah, whenever I went to our show when it was up in the right-hand corner, scanned it, and then I have an app. I'll see what it is. I think it's QR reader. I have that out on my iPhone, and I use the QR reader to scan it. So if you have an iPhone, look up QR reader, download it, use that, and then you can scan it that way. That's how I did it. There might be a simpler way, but that's how I did it.
Oh, that was nonsense that asked. He said you can't scan that on mobile.
Yeah. That's the best way to do it on mobile.
Or if you pause this video after we finish and close up, you can go back, pause the video, get a standstill QR code. Just take a picture of that. It'll take you right to the link. It's a Google Forms. You just submit your email address and get all registered for that. You'll be good to go. Let's see. Anything else? I think that's it.
I think we covered everything.
I think we have. Yeah, let's break into a little Survivor talk. I'm just kidding. I don't have anything on that. Listen, thank you guys so much. Tomorrow, I know that Rob and I will be here at 2:00 Eastern time, right here on the Weekday Wages channel. Fingers crossed. We got DG coming in. It's going to be tough to hold split decision if it's just you and I mean, we can debate and argue back and forth, but I'm not keeping a timer on it. So,
yeah, same.
With that being said, listen, can't thank you guys enough. We have the best damn chat in the business. No question about that at all. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday. You know what? Smile at a stranger. Just smile and say hi. Make somebody's day. Be kind to one another. And more importantly, let's cash these tickets. For Robbie, for me. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this Thursday of Weekday Wagers. We will be here tomorrow, 2:00 Eastern. Until then, take care.